Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back for another episode of Firestorm at Home. It's going to be tricking with Coach FreeLove. You guys are here for tricking episode 4, and you can see we're at home. We're not like at the gym. We are trying to cut back on unnecessary travel. We figured we can move our whole streaming setup from the gym to our home so that way we could help flatten the curve and try and make sure that we get the positive idea out that we want to do everything in our power to make sure that we're taking care of what we are able to. So without too much going into it, we're going to expand upon our previous 3 lessons of tricking. If you guys have not yet done so, please move your stuff, make room, clear your home. If you have pets and they get in your way, you may end up having to take them away. You may have to put them away, but until they're a problem, they'll probably just be good for the viewership. Anyway, we're going to go on ahead and get our mobility started. Get that nice clear space, take a wide, strong stance, and we're going into a neck roll. Chin over to our shoulder and bring it down.
Ronan says hi.
Nice. Hello, Ronan. Welcome back. Nice. All right. So we're going to go from our neck to our shoulders just like we do every time. We're going to go on ahead and pull them up, big shrug, and roll them back and around. We're going to start with a backward shoulder shrug, making sure that we don't let our posture fall apart. Keep your posture up. Keep the shrug going. Nice, strong movement. Wholesome content. All right, and opposite direction. Go on ahead and roll them forward now. All right, nice. Go on ahead and shake it up just a little bit. We're going to warm our elbows up by going ahead and rolling them out in a nice lateral elbow roll. So go up into your cactus arm position and go hands into your head, then down to your shoulders, past your armpit, under your elbow, and around. And keep that going. Take your time, make it a smooth movement. And as in every episode, keep breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And opposite direction. Good. Go ahead and drop the arms down, interlock the fingers, roll the wrists out just a little bit in each direction. I like to use a washing machine method. That means I go back and forth a few circles one way and the other. And keep that going. Nice. All right, go ahead and shake those out. Shake out just the hands side to side. Flap them up and down. Side to side. We are in a tricking class, but one of the things that we're going to work on in today's class is going to be a transition that requires us to hold ourselves up on our hands using those hands and wrists. So warm-ups and mobility in them today is just as important as ever, but we're going to feel a little bit more of a practical use out of it today more today than in previous tricking classes, I should say. So we're going to warm up the torso. We're going to take a nice squat with a wide stance. While squatting and wide in that stance, we're going to do just a few controlled torso twists, back and forth. All right. We were not doing a momentum twist before. We were twisting with our muscles, taking it nice and slow. But this time, we're going to do a momentum twist. Keep the squat though. So keep the knees bent and keep the hips low and drive across the twist with the arms. All right. Go on ahead and stand up into a nice strong straddle by locking those legs out, squeezing the quads. We're going to hold that for just a moment there. Lean back. Feel the front of your hips open up just a little bit. You can even take your hands and turn them upside down and push into your lower back like that, like that. Good. Lean back just a little more. Keep that straddle strong. Good. All right, and we're going to keep that back flat, keep it strong. We're going to keep our hands back there. If they were back there, we're going to lean out to this nice forward lean. Keep your shoulders pinched, keep your shoulder blades back, keep the stretch going on your wrist, and stand up nice and straight, nice and tall. Keep it going. Nice. Good. And release that. Interlock the fingers, stretch the wrists out, because I know that some of us are really pushing, and so we need that little bit of extra stretch after that. So we're going to go ahead and bring the legs together. Ooh, boy. And we're going to start with just a few of our knee circles. Squat down. Keep the feet and the knees touching as best as possible. Squat down and spin them around. It's pretty much our best method of describing these or explaining these. Nice, there we go. So, knee circles all the way around and opposite direction as well. Awesome. All right, and go ahead and stand up nice and tall. Woo. All right. We're going to do just a few of our ankle rolls on both legs and then get into our warm-up kicks. So, if you guys have not started that nice lunge and ankle roll, please do so now. So lean in on the lunge, lift the heel up, and roll the ankle out. We'll be needing to roll it out in both directions. So, take your time to do so now. If you guys have not watched any of the previous episodes, we're going to be building upon that knowledge in those previous episodes. So some of the stuff that you guys are going to need, make sure that you go in both directions on this ankle roll. We're going to need our roundhouse. We're also going to need our hook kick or our spinning hook kick. We're going to need to remember our step over transition. And we're also going to be predominantly using our front snap at the first combo that we're using for today's class, and we'll be introducing that chamber, the concept of chambering, with a slight tilt for a side kick, which is one of our newer kicks today. Those axe kicks were handy, but we're not needing those just yet, not today anyway. We also talked about our tornado, switch legs, talked about our tornado kick in a previous class, and so if you guys have got that, great. If you guys don't have that, you'll be needing that for the end of class today. So we'll be going over our side kick, and we'll be implementing our side kick into a combo today, talking about how to use it appropriately, at least for the sake of our tricking, and making sure we roll the ankle in both directions. The other thing that we're going to be going over again is our tornado kick. Adding that into a combo. We had that in a previous tricking lesson, but now we're going to be adding it to a combo, and then again our transformer transition. So lots of cool stuff. Nice. Cool. So we're going to go on ahead and get right on in there. We're going to start with our kicks. That's right. In all of our other classes, we do different warm-ups, different per each class. Today's warm-ups are going to be kicks because it's a tricking class. So we're going to take a casual fighting stance, and that means our dominant leg is the get out of here. The big, powerful, strong kicking leg, the one that kicks balls, the one that kicks them all the way. Yeah, that one. Big, powerful kicking leg. That's your back leg. That's your dominant leg. Front leg is your non-dominant leg for right now. It's pointed forward. Back leg's pointed out. We're going to start by taking that into a chambered position and kicking straight up and coming right back. So, front snap. Now, if you guys are able to keep up and like if you're just jumping in for a class, if you're able to keep up, if you think you guys got it, then that's awesome. But if you start finding the class is a little bit outpacing you, that is probably a good note to go and check out one of the previous tricking classes. So I'm starting with one of episode 1's core techniques. That was our front snap. And this is just a part of like our starting warm-up kicks. So it's important to note that some of our shorter series are trying to expand upon previous episodes or previous entries to make sure that we can taper upward into our more advanced students as well. Trying to cater to as much as possible. All right, nice. We're gonna switch opposite fighting stance. Continue with the front snaps. So now what was my left leg is in front is now my right. So I was kicking with that leg. It's now my non-dominant or my lead leg. Kicking that chamber front snap, just like that. All right, nice. So, front snap, and we're gonna go into our roundhouse kick now. So, from our dominant fighting stance again, chamber round, we're going to come back with a re-chamber, so pull the foot back in after. Bring the heel back down to the ground. 1, 2, back. Just like that. Spotting. Don't forget spotting. When I'm throwing these kicks, I'm targeting. Like if I was going to hit something, I'm going to stare at where I'm going to hit it, pick my point, strike it, just like that. But our goal currently is delivering kicks to the air. However, always spot your targets. Always. Even in your basic warm-up kicks. So, pick a target, spot it, roundhouse is on your dominant strikes. Let's go. Alright, just enough to warm it up, and let's switch to our opposite side. So I was kicking right, now I'm kicking left. Keep it going. you should be feeling nice and warm on the inside of your hips. Pretty sufficient warm up for the most part for our kicks. We are going to have to continue warming up our ankles. So we're going to stand nice and strong, do just a few calf raises. So keeping our heels pinned, toes pinched, and knees together. We're going to lift up by pointing our toes down. So I went from flat to pressed and pointed. I'm going to hold myself up, set myself back down. You guys can see, up and down. Try and keep them together. Up and down. Nice. Up and hold them. Slowly set them down. Keep those toes pinched. Keep those heels pinched as best as possible. And up. And slow set down. Awesome. Just a few more. Up. And down. Up. Down. Up. Down. Last one together. Up and hold it for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Good. Goodness. Oh my goodness. So we're going to finish our warm-ups by going ahead and pinning our toe to the ground and rolling it out. We've done this in a previous tricking episode. If you guys did not know, well, you should probably be either barefoot or in socks or at least in very thin, flexible shoes, enough that you can stretch your toes out for this next stretch. So we're going to pretty much curl our toe backwards like we're turning our foot into a fist. And then I'm going to pin that to the floor and push my toe. Try and get my toes close to a 90-degree bend, if not even further in than that, close as possible to that curl and that bend. And just only apply a little bit of pressure in there. And come on out. And now we're going to go the exact opposite direction, same foot. So now instead of it going curled in, we're going to flex that foot. So flex it as hard as you can. Lift those toes towards your shin. I like to put my foot behind me, flex my feet, and then take the knee of that same leg and bring that knee down towards the ground. Keeping that pressure in the foot and the ankle through the toe. And you'll feel that in your Achilles tendon. That's right here on the back of your calf, right above your heel and behind your ankle. It's a good stretch in there. You should learn to appreciate it. And then come on off of it. All right. We're going to do that same two-part stretch on the opposite side for our foot and our ankle and our toes, believe it or not, because it's an important part of stretching your foot. So curl those toes in on the opposite foot, and I'm putting just a slight bit of pressure in on that curled toe. Nice, good, and come on off of it. Now let's switch that now so that way it's behind us instead of in front of us. We're still going to put the pressure in that foot, but it's not curled, it's flexed. So flex the foot and slowly apply more pressure to the foot and the ankle and the Achilles tendon by bending and dropping that knee of that pressed foot. Nice. You can use your hands on your front knee and front thigh to support yourself when you think you need to hold yourself up and to balance and reduce some of that stress. Good. And come on off of that. Come on out of there. Nice. So we are just about 20 minutes in and we're ready for our first water break. Let's go get some water, guys. I need some. I know I do. Oy vey. Okay. All right, well, here I am. And here you are. Welcome back. You drank some water. I drank some water. We both feel good about each other. I like it. It's nice. We're going to get started with some kicks. Some more kicks. So, we did our front snap and a roundhouse from our first episode. We did those as a part of today's just warm up. Just getting our hips warm and going. The next kick that we're going to be adding into our previous list of kicks is our side kick. So, we did talk about our casual fighting stance in our first episode. We also talked about targeting and how we use traditional striking. When I target something, I travel at it as I strike it. Whereas in tricking, it's a bit more exhibition. And so I'm traveling across usually a small stage. In this case, the stage is the size of my living room. And I'm striking towards my audience. Here and here. Ooh. Trying to make sure I don't land on my cats or fall off my stage, accidentally kick any of my furniture. So that's one of the real big major differences. So every episode's have one, but here's your disclaimer. This is not for like fighting people. Okay guys? This is exhibition, for like making it look good, for accentuating your strikes to an audience and hearing. So, casual fighting stance. We're going to take that back leg, and similarly to how we chamber for a roundhouse kick, we're going to pivot our front foot, swing our heel, and pull this leg up into that chambered position. So we'll do those two parts together. So from our casual fighting stance, chamber and pivot. That's it. You guys can come on down from that. Now I want you to try and keep your alignment. Mine, as you can see, was slightly more over to the side. Very similar to how we would be for our roundhouse kick. We're going to keep that alignment just similar to that. And instead of pulling that knee up into our shoulder here, we're going to be pulling that knee in and across towards our chest here. Right? Okay. So, from that hold, chambered position, we're going to flex and push our foot out sideways. Hence the term side kick. Because if all of my kicks are usually coming out here to my audience, it's very clear that as I travel my lateral path, that a kick that comes out here is a side kick, right? So often people will strike with either the blade of their foot or the flat of their foot. So the blade of your foot is, well, this part of it here, from your pinky toe to the side of your heel, right? That's the blade of your foot. So sometimes people will strike like that. Not wrong, it's okay. Now, one of the ways that I would prefer that you are striking is either with your heel or the flat of your foot. So, as if you were putting your foot on a wall and pressing it flat to the wall. It's one of the best ways that I can help you to understand that when I say it. So, from our casual fighting stance, we're going to pivot and chamber in, and then press our foot flat to that wall, lean out and hold that leg out if we can, as best as we can. Nice, good, check our environment, ready, and nice. So that's really our side kick as a whole. We're going to rechamber it afterwards and then put our foot back, similarly to how we did our roundhouse, rechamber, and return. We're now going to be doing a chambered side kick and return. So, alright, now that we're ready to go, casual fighting stance, pivot chamber, side kick, rechamber, put the foot back. As I rechamber, I pivot, helps me to get back into that straight on fighting stance. My posture, my feet, my placement are going to be nice and balanced. So we're going to deliver our side kick on both sides just a few more times. So since you guys were just getting that, I broke it down the same way I did those previous kicks. So in that fighting stance, chamber, side kick. Nice. We're going to continue with that. Now this is an important time to mention that in one of our previous episodes, I said you guys can use a broomstick. So if you guys need to take a second, stop with your dominant leg with the side kick. We are gonna chill out, catch our breath. If you needed a broomstick, you guys could have had one. I don't quite have a broomstick, but I can improvise if I need one. Fortunately, I'm not going to be using that for right now, but you guys would be able to hold on to it in your hand that matches your leading leg off to the side, so that when you chamber and pivot and you kick to extend, you have something to help support you. And then you can use your glute to keep your leg up and use your quad and your calf to keep your leg straight. Right? So, if you guys need, you can use a broomstick. I'm not going to be using that as I do my opposite side. Figured it's one of those things that it's good to know before you get started with that same kick, that side kick, on our opposite side. So if you guys needed it, that should have been way more than enough time to go get one. Alright, let's get started. So, I was left foot forward, and this is my strong side. I'm going to go into my not so strong side and get started with that side kick. So, big chamber and pivot, keep my balance, push out, come back, and return. And try not to land on any of my cats. Boy, that makes me nervous. Alright, cool, perfect, there we go. So, fighting stance, boom, 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 boom. Just like that, side kick on our opposite side. Just a few more. We should be aiming for about torso height as far as our side kick goes. Our body, when we go into our kick, we lean over. And so as we lean, we want to create this big accentuated movement out sideways. So as we do the kick, keep that in mind. It's a big, long movement in both directions. Nice. Just a few more of that side kick. And we're going to incorporate it into a combo. One more together. All right, so go ahead and shake it off and get ready to get our first combo going. If you guys need water, now's a good chance. Otherwise, we're gonna jump right on in. Casual fighting stance, starting with our back leg or dominant leg. We're only going to be doing this combo on our dominant side in class together, but I would ask you to do yourself a huge favor, practice on your opposite side in your own time after. Now, we're going to start, again, casual stance, taking that back leg, going into a front snap, and then rechambering and tilting. So, 1, 2, 3. Then, executing our side kick from that tilted, chambered position. Starting casual fighting stance, spacing ourselves out amongst our glasswares and our electronics and our pets. Front snap, rechamber, pivot, extension for the side kick, rechamber, come back behind you. Just like that. So those first two kicks we're going to practice together in unison to get them down, because we're not dropping our foot like we've done in previous videos. So, again, from that fighting stance, casual fighting stance, front snap, rechamber, pivot, strike, return. All right. Now, we're going to add on to that in just a few more attempts. So please keep that going. Keep targeting, keep spotting on both the front snap and when we return from that chamber to the side kick, I'm still spotting what would be my audience, keeping in mind where my kick is at over here. Now for all practical application, we would spot two places, here and here, where our strike is to be delivered. So it's important to note that, again, much of this is for us to be doing as an exhibition movement. Keep it going, the front snap, rechamber, side kick, and return. Nice. So, like I promised, we're going to add on to that. We're going to do so right now, actually. Making sure that we don't accidentally bump into or knock across anything. We're going to consider that this is a lateral moving skill, because the next thing that we're adding on is our roundhouse. And so we're going to be traveling over and across after our side kick. So we're going to try and not drop the foot from the side kick after we put that leg into extension. Doing that whole movement like so. The front snap, rechamber, tilt, side kick, and now rechambering back here to roundhouse across, finishing back in my... Alright, perfect. So, we were just experiencing a little bit of Wi-Fi lag. Apologies for that, guys. We are all good to go. Now, I was just saying that that's a lot to do all on the one leg. 3 kicks, man, especially with all the readjusting that's happening on your planted leg. So if you guys have not practiced for previous episodes, go check those out. Now, let's go on and keep those 3 going, get those controlled, and get those in a way that we can deliver them in this tight space, right? We can do it well. Stop and control if you've ever fallen over. Okay. Now spotting. My hip. Boy, I can feel that on the extension. From every one of my side kicks. Ooh. All right, so catch your breath, give those kicks a break, just a brief break. Wanting to do that on your opposite side right now is, well, good, but keep in mind, you and I only have so much time together. So if we were to spend the rest of this class doing that on our opposite side together, it would prohibit me from moving you forward effectively. So we're going to move forward on that dominant side, and again, practice our non-dominant side after. One of the things that I would even highly recommend you do is that you just watch the stream a second time on your non-dominant side, so that way you've got it all taken care of. We're going to go ahead and pick it back up. So, casual fighting stance. We were just finishing off the side kick with the round, and now we're going to drop actually into a backside stance. So instead of carrying the roundhouse from here to back behind us, I'm actually going to talk about that lateral line that we moved on. That class is happening across the way that way. So we're going to step onto that line. It's an imaginary line unless you have an actual line house. But aside from that, we're going to go from our front snap, here, chamber, side, round, down, and into a backside stance. Right? Essentially a whole stance with the back audience. Because from that position, my backside stance, I'm going to deliver my spinning hook, being mindful to not strike anything as far as my furniture goes, or my pets, or people in my home. So we're going to take a step away from the first few kicks of the combo and just do our round and spinning hook a few times together before we add the spinning hook to the previous kicks. So casual fighting stance and just the round, just the hook. Try to be mindful of your space, not strike anything in your home. Again, just around. And the hook. We'll say just 2 more. All right. Having a feel for the fact that we're starting to apply some more spins to our kicks. After having done those few kicks, we're going to go into those spins, and sometimes we're a little out of balance. So that's why we want to take the time to practice the first few kicks, then the second few kicks, and then put them together as a whole. So we're going to start with our front snap, and then our chamber side kick, and then our round step over, spinning hook, putting all of that together before our next water break. So, casual fighting stance, front snap, re-chamber, turn, side kick, round, hook. I'm going to be finishing in my switch side fighting stance. The very last things that I'm going to do today is practically like landing in different fighting stances so that I can apply my transition movements. So you're going to see that a little bit later in today's episode. Till then, we're going to practice as that was just done. So, fighting stance, front snap, side kick, round, spinning hook. And I'm traveling laterally across my living room, trying not to strike objects in front of me like my cats and furniture. So, casual fighting stance, front snap, chambered side kick, roundhouse, so that back side, hook, so that switch side fighting stance. Now if you can, we can even start to practice going hook to front side. So casual fighting stance, front snap, re-chamber side kick, round, back side here, then spinning hook to front side here. So I didn't really do the hook there, I'm trying to exaggerate the stances, but putting it all together a little bit more, looks like this, and we should be keeping it going, adding that, just that little bit of stance change. All right, and let's do one more together in its whole. All right, so now you're like, Coach, you said water. I said, you're right. We're actually out of time for our water break. So you guys go get a quick sip. Get us some water, I'll get mine. All right, so we just got another water break. That was great. Your right hip or your left hip, depending on what your dominant leg is, probably nice and well and open and on fire. And like I said, you should watch this after you do all your kicks on your opposite side. Promise me. All right, now we're gonna go on ahead and continue with our next new skill. Like I talked about earlier today during our wrist warm-ups, that we're going to be using our hands pressing into the ground for our transition. That's right, it's not cartwheel, it's a transformer. So, if you guys were hanging out with us for our previous episode, I talked about butterfly kicks. And a transformer is going to use some of that butterfly kick leg technique. And if you don't have it, you don't need it, but it is super duper helpful. So, we're going to start with a nice wide straddle. Making sure that we're not next to anything that we're accidentally going to kick. Because we are going to not only kick, but we are going to kick and spin and twist around. Because our transformer looks like this. So I'm trying to be mindful of the space that I'm in. I'm not really accentuating big, huge parts of it, not kicking my legs up super high or super crazy, and keeping myself fairly folded in this straddled position the whole time that I do my transformer. And we are going to keep in mind that that is a 4-part movement. Okay, guys? From our straddle, what happens is actually we start in a slight lunge, because now I can put power from this lunge into my hands. And I can kind of twist and turn through my hip a little bit. So I'm going to be over here, and so this is the start. I'm going to go for part 1. I'm going to reach into the ground. I'm almost replacing this leg with this hand. For me, that's my left leg with my right hand. I'm a dominant righty. I'm going to be reaching this way. I twist to my left side. So that would be why I'm using this hand and this foot. So if you twist naturally to your left, you'll probably be going the opposite direction. So I'll be using my right hand for today's class to explain. So I'll be going from right hand replacing left foot. Now when I say replacing it, I don't mean I'm actually putting my foot and my hand all the way over there. Now I'm going to use my hand as a support. It's going to replace the job of my foot. So I'm going to go in and hold myself up. Right? Now, that's only a single part of it. After that, my second leg is going to come up off the ground. And then I'm going to repeat that process with my second hand. So, the start of this action, from straddle into this twisted lunging reach, I'm going to kick this leg out of the way and put my hand down and support myself. And then put my second hand down as I kick this one up and out of the way. Alright, that's really it. It's 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay? So 1, 2, kicking the first leg up, replacing it with the support of the hand. Then 2, kicking the second leg up and replacing it with the support of this opposite hand. So when I say that it's a 4-part action, and I say that those are just your first 2 parts, that's because this is 1 and this is 2. So you're going to be using those hands in unison together. Starting again in that front side stance, that wide straddle, we can now kind of remember it as a front side stance as if we were tricking, right? And we're going to go into this lean, twist and reach, replace 1 and 2 with 1 and 2, and then the last 2 parts of this whole movement. 3 and 4 are finishing the movements on our legs and nearly in place, because this transition is super duper helpful for a lot of things, but one of them is it's a stationary torque and momentum builder. So like if I wanted to, I could finish this and do a standing full twist. Am I going to? No, I'm in my living room. I'm not going to lie on my Xbox for that. No, not even. But that's what I could practically apply it to. So again, starting that wide front side stance, winding up, we go in 1, 2, replace, replace, and hold yourself up as long as you can, and spot where you're starting, and try and step back where you started for your left leg and your right, or vice versa. So that is 3 and 4. So hold it up, step, pivot, step, 3, 4. Right? And the closer that you can get to that starting place, the better that you'll be as far as staying in place and effectively using your transformer as a transition. So we're going to practice it just a few more times before we apply it to a combo, because not having practiced it enough and then using it is dangerous otherwise. So all right. Just a few more.
The lay down was happening.
All right, cool. I've done my last few as far as practice goes. I've moved my furniture and pets to keep my space clear. Considering my training practice is super important right now. And I'm gonna go on ahead and get started with adding that into the end of my previous combo. So, using up most of the space in our home, well, at least in our living room, we're going to be taking our casual fighting stance, striking our first 3 kicks as we were before, then finishing with that spinning hook as our 4th. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, and now we're going to try and do our transition, or our transformer in this space here, as we finish our spinning hook. So you're like, Coach, how do I apply it? Great. Well, I mean, you don't get a super great opportunity to apply it in here. Unfortunately, it's just kind of the way it goes. We're in a tight space, we're in a constrained space. We're not going to accidentally hurt ourselves or destroy any of our property because of it. We're going to just continue to practice it, and then I will teach you what we can do to apply it after. So, let's get started. Casual fighting stance. First 4 kicks. 1, 2, 3, 4. Ooh, would have kicked my pole. And then transformer. Just like that. Reset. First 4 kicks. Sorry, I tried to tuck myself as far as I could in my corner, and I was afraid to knock stuff over. And then instead of forcing myself to do my kick, I decided to stop and come down. Be a good example instead of breaking something in my house on camera. So, casual fighting stance, front snap, chambered side, round, hook, transformer. Trying to take it slow and controlled is always helpful, way better than rushing it and keeping the spot on your kicks. Like picking a target and then striking it over and over. All right. Now, just one more time together. Should be good. All right. So you say, Coach, there's something we can do out of it. There's a whole lot we can do out of it. What we're going to do is take it from the combo, extrapolate it, make it the start of our movement, and then we're going to put it in place, finish it off with the tornado kick. So like I said earlier in class, we are going to be practicing that tornado kick. We're going to be doing a transformer to tornado kick, but we're going to be starting by going from fighting stance, using in a previously mentioned episode, we have our shift step. So shifting over to get ourselves ready, using our shift step, and then starting with a transition, because starting with transitions is a great way to, like I said earlier, to kind of build twist. And like I said, I could do a standing full twist, but instead of doing a like full twisting back flip, we're going to do like a tornado kick from that little transition being our transformer. So take your casual fighting stance, and again we're going to shift step from our fighting stance to a front side stance, and then go smoothly from that shift step into that transformer. Let's just start with that once or twice. All right. Not too shabby, not too bad, feels good. I can probably do it again. And then move myself forward. So I'm going to do it one more time for good measure and move forward. So casual fighting stance, shift step, and transformer. All right, and I think that leaves me just enough room that I could step over out of that movement, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to finish my transformer. So as I'm finishing, coming back into this front side stance, I'm going to go on ahead. There we go. I'm going to go on ahead and step over right away. So after I finish that transformer, boom, step over right away into my tornado kick, into my tornado roundhouse. So starting my casual fighting stance and doing the transformer to the step over for that tornado. Shift, transformer, step over and strike. And as you guys can see, I'm not actually striking my target today. I went to strike, rechambered, and recoiled. So I'm not adding that into the combo currently. You guys can if you have the room for it. Fortunately, I just cannot advise that you do such a large combo that would otherwise take up so much space and have so much twist and kick, and that you do that in your home. It's just ill-advised of me to tell you to do so. So instead of doing our combo as a whole, we broke our combo into bits today. We're going to do just a few more of that last bit together and then get some stretches and call it a day for class. So casual fighting stance, shift step, and transformer to tornado. Awesome. Let's do one more together and then get started with our stretches. A water break and then stretches. So it's super important to stay hydrated. Fighting stance, shift step, transformer, tornado. All right, guys. So go get your water. I'm gonna get mine, and then we'll get our stretches, and then we'll call it a day. All my water is gone for like the third time today. It's a good sign. It means I'm well hydrated. I should sleep well tonight. So, we're going to go ahead and get a few stretches in before we call it quits for today. Using that same open space that we were just in, we're going to start with a standing straddle. Keep it nice and wide. Square yourself off. And I want you to slowly widen out too. Just beyond uncomfortable. But it's like, that's uncomfortable. And you're like, but it's a bearable time. You know, like that's a good spot. We're going to push right on the edge of that. We're going to knock on the far side of that. You guys catch my drift. So, slide in there. Like this is uncomfortable for me, which some of you might be like, that is absolutely disgraceful, coach. How dare you? And I'd be like, well, I'm just not flexible. But then some of you are like way down here, you're like, oh, that's uncomfortable there. Well, for me, it's like super uncomfortable. And so like maybe that's like the farthest that I should sit, or the most that I should go, for at least right now. Either way, we're just gonna hold it. And then dip down, lean forward at your max of your separation. If you need your hands to support you, you can. If you feel you're sliding too far, walk in and adjust, but our goal is to hold it with no hands now. All right, and then to add our stretch in, by grabbing the floor and pushing ourselves through our legs. Awesome. We're going to go ahead and curl one in and take a seat. So go ahead and take a seat. We're going to put our legs straight out in front of us and just shake them out just a little bit. And we're going to roll our ankle out and stretch our hip at the same time. So go on ahead and grab the ball of the toe and around the toe and push down on the knee. We're going to go ahead and tilt into that hip by pushing down on the knee. I like to lean into it with my forearm. And then I roll my ankle out on my opposite side. Nice, just like that. Make sure you roll that ankle in both directions. And that while you're down there, that you also kind of stretch out your toes too. Awesome. All right, we're going to stand that leg up now, and we're going to Hollywood stretch across that leg. Good. All right, and coming out of that, we're going to do that series of stretches on our opposite side. So, starting with that figure four for the ankle roll and the outward hip stretch. Make sure that you roll that ankle in both directions. Oh no. Awesome. All right, and then we're going to stand it up and do our Hollywood stretch by twisting across the body, twisting open, twisting over. Keep it pulled in tight for that twist. All right, going ahead and coming out of that stretch. Nice. Should be feeling good in our lower back and our hips. The last stretch that we're going to do today is an inverted butterfly. So that means that we're just going to put our feet together, essentially like a butterfly, but with our knees, the inside of our knees down on the ground. So put our feet together behind us. Slide our knees apart out to the sides. Put our hips up and over. Hips up and over our knees. And then lastly, put your chest up and over your hips. And slide wide into that. Trying to get the inside of your knee to touch the floor. Just breathe. Go ahead. I want you to actually go ahead and stay in this for just a few more moments. And remember that this was only half of today's lesson. The other half of your lesson is to watch this video a second time on your non-dominant side. Practice all your kicks equally. Ugh. Like, I can't do that right now on camera. We just don't have the time for it. So, you guys taking these lessons and continuing to do these classes, you are making a promise to yourselves, really, that if you want to get to the end of this, you want to continue to progress, that you're going to practice this on your opposite side when the camera stops rolling. So, thank you guys for streaming, coming out of your inverted butterfly. Take a stand. Alright, and we are all done with today's class, so really appreciate you guys. We look forward to seeing you in our upcoming classes. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow for either our Little Heroes or Acroflex for this summer. Bye guys.